Hey, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. And I'm early. I was sitting here thinking, I got a few minutes before this thing is supposed to start. We talk about the window opening and closing. I'm thinking, what if somebody's window is doing this while I'm waiting for 5:05 to happen? So we're here. Thank you for joining me. All right, you guys, we're going to have a good talk today. Before we get started, let's all, if you don't mind, let's see if we can all hit that like button. What happens is it pushes us out in the algorithm and more people end up watching it. It's cool if we're eating tincture or peppers, but man, if it's really cool if we're changing lives. So let's all hit that like button if you guys don't mind. I'd appreciate it greatly. All right, so Silver Surfer, love you, Dad. Such fun today. Jimmy Pickles, good to see you. Chili Phil. I saw Spicy Jen also. Dale Cox, good to see you. Hi, Lynn. Thank you for being here. We've got Brock Bandy, my dude. Thanks for stopping in, being here. My fast gun with a wrench. Deadly. Fortunately, it's not going to be needed tonight. Kristen Melinda, good to see you, but they're always on guard. Who else am I missing? I want to make sure I said True Crime Night. Hi, Robin. Thank you for being here. There's Lisa Trimble. Yep, it went on a little bit early because, like I said, who knows when that window is open and who knows when that window is closing. So here's what we're going to talk about. You saw the thumbnail. I think so many people are in, talk. I mentioned the whole thing about Sebastian Coe, the guy broke the, Bannister, excuse me, that broke the, Roger Bannister, broke the 4-minute mile. For the, nobody could do it. Once he did it, 1,700 people have done it since. And now the record is 16 seconds faster. So when you know something can be done, it gives you the we can do it. It's just that simple. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to hear a bit of a horror story today. And the point isn't, there's nothing glorious about anything I'm going to tell you. It's a nightmare. It is a dumpster fire. The point of talking about this is to let you all know that if Tommy can pull himself up by his bootstraps, and if I can figure it out, I promise you anybody can. SGC, Keller Killer, man, good to see you. You don't need to be at my level. I'm broken. SGC, Keller Killer, what a great name. Arwa, so good to see you. I had so much fun talking with you today and learning about you. You're awesome. Brian, good to see you. Nice to see you got through another day. Dude works on those towers with the windmill, and it's terrifying. By the way, Kristen Melinda would like us to know that I checked with my husband to make sure he's not feeling neglected. Well, here's the deal. She's the most amazing mod. All my mods are stellar, which I'm going to remind myself to talk to you about that. Well, you got somebody remind me to talk about the mod thing later. You guys know what I'm talking about. Silver Surfer certainly does. So later at some point, remind me of the mod thing. But she mods for me. She mods for my brother. And she's not just a mod. I didn't see your hate mail, Mike. You gotta be kidding me. I did get one from Bizzle, which I'll probably read. I got a great hate mail from Bizzle. It's wonderful. And you guys, this is in jest. These guys love me. Once in a while, I'll read a hate mail, email I get from somebody who hates me. We have fun with it because I think it's comical. Anyhow, Dale Cox says, Johnny, I have some awesome news, brother. The Chile community is coming together and help rebuild everything, house included. It's a good group of people, Dale. I'm sorry you've gone through what you've gone through. For real. All right. So if you have questions or comments, put Q's in front of it. But I'm going to tell you a story. So I may not be focused on the comments right now. But if you have an important one, put Q's in it. And as I see them, I'll put a star next to it. And towards the end of this stream, I'll address those. Okay. But I'm going to tell you about a train wreck of a story. Now, first of all, I got, started young. My first time drawing. I tell you the first time. I've shared the story on here already. So if you've heard it already, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, it's going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I might have been double digits. I was a child, and I already knew that I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't know that. I didn't have that. Obviously, coin a phrase. I didn't know what didn't know what it meant. I just knew I didn't feel right. I know what it was that caused it, but that's academic to the story right now. I'll probably address that a little bit later and tell you. But the bottom line is I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin and was trying to figure out a way to become comfortable. Hi, Just Jones. So good to see you. I had a family. I was a drinking family, and we're a New York family. My dad and my mom loaded up the truck and moved to Vermont, East Coast. All right. So we had a big New York family, and every summer, every winter, a couple times a year, they'd come. And when they did, they get luggage, they carry the luggage in, and then they go back to the car and carry in 4 or 5 cases of beer. And that was just the beer for the first couple of days. I mean, it was a drinking family. Now, that said, it's very important. Everybody knows that my mom and dad never had a problem. They didn't. They were solid. They it was entertaining. It was fun for them. I never seen my mom or dad out of control ever. All right. So, and I came from a family of wicked achievers. My mom and dad, my dad was a beast in business. He was a titan for real. My mom was just a pillar of the community. She was amazing. So it wasn't it wasn't something that passed down. If it did, it skipped a generation. I don't know how that works, but and anyway, the bottom line is the New York family came and they were to hang out for a week. Hi, Jane. I'm sure Barbara's here. If I missed you guys, hello. I'm kind of telling the story here. I really want you guys to interject. If you have questions or comments about this, throw cues in there. I don't want you to think that I'm going to ignore you. I'm not. But I'm telling a story, and if your question or a comment fits in, we'll kind of slide it in there. So please don't hesitate. And every comment you have or some question that needs to be read, throw capital Q's in the front of it, and I will put a star next to it. It'll flag it. At the end of our talk, I'll address all these because it's important. But I want you to know if I can be saved, swear to God you can. Laser Show, good to see you. Just me being me, love to see you. Glad you're here. Toby Reveley, hello. So my family came from New York. I was a kid. I was, honest to God, I was a child. My brother was probably 5 or 6. And everybody was partying. And I think the previous year, I kind of learned that alcohol was cool the previous year because when we were at parties, I go to my uncle, can I have a sip? Slide me a beer. This is lemon that I picked from a lemon in my backyard. And this is ice water. But I had uncles that were like, yeah, here, kid. So I'd go from one uncle to the other uncle, to their wives, to my grandfather. My grandmother wouldn't play that. My grandfather would. And I would go, and that's it. And I remember that was the first time I ever I could feel something. I'm like, wait a minute, there's something going on. So I knew there was something with alcohol that intrigued me. The following year, I got back to the story. They were here in from New York, and the party had gone on. And everybody nobody was out of control. You got to understand, I was just a mess. I hadn't experienced this much of life, and I was already a mess. It's just the truth. Everybody's partying and having a good time. I went to the fridge, got a beer, stuck it in my shorts, walked up to my room discreetly. Nobody saw. I took the beer and I stuck it under my bed. Half hours later, I did it again. Green Man, so good to see you. You are a lunatic, Green Man. We'll talk about that later. Oh, talk about chili tolerance. Man, scares me. Hi, Renee B. So I did that. I got beers and hid in my room until I had a 6-pack of them. And then everybody, the kind of party kind of ended. Everybody kind of went to bed. Things got quiet. When they did, I shut my door. I turned my light on in my room. I sat down on the floor of my room. By now, they're practically warm. And I was a kid. I drank a beer. I drank the first beer I drank. I'm like right away. I knew I was moving in a better direction. I didn't feel crappy anymore. It was bad. It was the wrong thing, but I knew right then and there. So here's my mentality, you guys. One beer made me feel, something changed. So my thought, even as a kid, I was like, well, geez, 2 is going to help more. That was my mentality. I don't know if I drank all 6. I probably came close. I drank, that was it. I got to tell you guys something. Oh, we're going to go on to it. I'll get back to that. It progressed. I got to high school. All right. And I didn't do any drugs or anything like that. I never smoked, nothing. I was an athlete. I drank. I went to a school where all the athletes, lacrosse players, football players, they all seemed to drink and party. So I did that. And I hit it. I hit it. I hit it well for the most part. Tommy watched me that day. Do you understand what a scumbag I am? Hustling beers up to my room. My brother watched me do that. For real. Anyhow, I ended up, in high school, I was a terrible student. I was horrible. I essentially thought that if I was a great athlete, and I was charming, most of my teachers were women. My male teachers were coaches. So as long as I was charming and a great athlete, I thought I could offset the fact that I was a stupid kid. So I thought. Then the problem is that worked, and that was the problem. It worked. I got decent grades. I never studied. They handed me things. I was 3 sports. I was ranked in tennis. I was just a great athlete. Didn't matter what the sport was. I was going to be good at it. And coaches do that. And if you don't think coaches throw gifts around, they do. Anyhow, by my senior year, everybody was on to me. They knew I was a con artist. They knew I was a BSer. It's just the truth. And I swear to you, I think they probably, at some point, got together and said, I wouldn't doubt it at all if they actually had a conversation. Hi, Bizzle. I love you, dude. Good to see you. Where they said, the kid's not ready to go out. He's not ready to move. I don't want to look at him again for another year. Do what you got to do. Get him out of here. Let's look at his grade point average and let's get him out of here. We'll wash our hands of it. I swear to you, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they had that conversation. So I get to college. I got accepted into a college I had no business being. I was a terrible student. I was a horrible student. I had no business. I got accepted because I was a great tennis player. And my tennis coach wrote a letter. Mr. Wheelchair Preacher, good to see you. Thank you for being here. My tennis coach wrote a letter to the university I went to saying, he's excited to play for you guys. I didn't get a scholarship, but if you don't think that had a lot to do with why they allowed me into that university, but they did. When I got to the university, do you think I played tennis? Why do you think I missed tennis? Because I was drinking like a fool. I got to college and just, here's the truth of it. I'm going to tell you guys, it's a horrible thing to even admit, but I swear to you, my mentality when I left high school and was going to the biggest university in the state, I may as well have had a checklist. I wanted to try every drug there was. How about that? All of them. I wanted to try it all. If they had it, I was going to do it. If it snorted, I don't care what it was. How about that? It's the truth. Rock Bandy, Silver Surfer, you wear the Bob Ross wig. That was so cool. We had such a good time today and yesterday. Anyway, so I got to college and I partied my butt off. And all the things. I didn't play tennis. I did, So the only thing that got me through high school was what? Sports and charming. Nobody was impressed with my athletic ability when I wasn't on a team. So I was done there. And charming? How are you going to be charming with a class of 300 people? And university I went to, most of my professors were men. I was in a jam. So I failed out. I failed out of college. Went to a different school. I went to a school my brother was going to. How about that? Tommy and I at the same college. I went there and got great grades for a semester, and just because I wanted to go back, and they let me back in. But I got out of college and the bottom line is this, you guys. Drinking, I'm not, at least 3 or 4 car accidents. Not where I was hammered and where I got a DWI, but I promise you, I rear-ended somebody or, my first marriage ended. Now, we didn't state that. Like when we got divorced, she didn't say, you're a drug addict. I can't do this anymore. You know what she said? I don't love you anymore. I don't love you anymore. I'm not in love with you. But had I not been doing the drugs and drinking the way I was drinking, I'd probably still be married. She was a good woman. She was a good woman. I ruined it. I feel terrible. I ruined essentially 2 marriages from drinking. For real. The biggest problem with my drinking and the drugging that I did? Declining performance in everything. Just declining. And the problem is, I was one of those functional dudes that could fake it. So people from the outside looking in, kind of make it work. I was making it work. I was rough around the edges, but there were areas where I was just brilliant. And that was the problem. And that was the problem. So if you go over I'm talking about, I quit drinking like 6 years ago. So 52 years old is essentially when I quit drinking. From 10 to 50, just call it 50. Four decades of ruining relationships, hurting people, lying to people, disappointing my mother and father. The worst part, never, ever reaching my potential. I used to say that on my tombstone, it was going to say, dude was talented, just never applied himself. Just a joke about that. Well, I'm applying the shit out of myself right now. Pardon my language. The bottom line is, though, I knew that day, sitting on the floor in my bedroom, that I had a problem. How about that? Wrap your dome piece around that. 4 decades. I knew that alcohol wasn't going to be the thing that made me right my own skin. There were other things. I remember thinking, well, I know there's other things out there. There's got to be. I had a feeling when I drank, even as a kid, there's something out there that will work. There's something out there that'll make me feel like the wheel's spinning around. I just can't grab it. Are you ever gonna let Katie outside like Squirrel? Yeah, we talked about it today. Today I took Squirrel out, and thank you I needed that break for a second, Bizzle. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? Today I took Squirrel out for a ride and for a walk, and Katie was at the door on her paw with her front paws on the windowsill, looking out, going, I want to do that. She cried the whole time I was out there. But yeah, we will eventually. I mean, she's going to be a swimmer. She likes water, so I mean, it's going to be an easy thing to teach her to swim. So you bet we will. It did lead me to where I am right now. Actually, I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. Please don't. If you know you feel bad for, I'll tell you in a minute. I'm going to tell you who to feel bad for. Hey, Johnny, I love the acknowledgement. Never been married, but I screwed up the relationship with love of my life. Wow, with my addiction. Listen, I've left a long wake of broken hearts. I promise you, there are women that today thought about me, and they were. I never dated women that weren't exceptional. I didn't, and the reason I did, it made me look normal. I didn't do it consciously. It wasn't like, hey, I can date that girl. Everybody's going to think I'm not a loser. But that was one of the byproducts of dating really pretty girls that had their act together. And every one of them, like, God, it's like if anybody, somebody should have said, holy crap, he's good looking. He's smart. He's funny as hell. He's funny, but run as fast as you can and don't look back because he's still there. I feel bad for all of it. But 4 decades, I reckon I knew I had a problem. Is that mind-boggling to think about that? Johnny, at least you finally knew you had a problem. Well, here's the thing, bro. Like I said, I mean, even when I was a kid, I knew I had a problem. I remember there was a joke I heard when I was in high school. It's terrible. I don't have a drinking problem. I drink, I get drunk, I fall down. No problem. That was a joke. But let me go back and tell you who I hurt. Barella, good to see you, dude. I like, how many times can you disappoint your mother or your father? I mean, like everybody around me. I mean, like disappointing your kids. My kids would never, ever, ever say, God, Dad, you disappointed me. I promise you I did. They may not even recognize it until they get older and start peeling their onion. Ugh. Isn't that terrible? Is there a horrible layer in my kid's onion that they're going to get to someday, probably? And I love them, treated them well, but I was want to love. I kind of knew it at 12. So getting back to the dumpster fire that, I'm going to tell you, boy, we're not done yet. 5 years ago, no, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, driving to the Chicago Hot Sauce Festival. All right, Brock. Wow, this book is so good. Transformed who you were to who you are today, and it's never too late to change. You love me, dude. Is Laura Mae Gibson paging Laura Mae Gibson? Are you here, my friend? I got good news for you. Laser show at 12. Started smoking weed with my biological mom. It's rough. Jimmy's back doing orders. Good to see you, Jimmy. Yeah, I used to have a T-shirt that said "Rehab is for quitters." And one day, I was with Tommy, walking on Church Street in Burlington, Vermont. A woman walked up to me crying because she lost her son to an overdose, and I snickered as I walked away. I swear it's a true story. So, 6 years ago, I'm going to the Chicago Hot Sauce Festival. I'm in a state that's legal for recreational marijuana. Hold it. I don't smoke weed. I want to tell you about that. I don't smoke weed. Just so you guys, now I don't. Okay. But I stopped and I was going to buy some. I've only shared this one other time on the channel. It's in the book. If you buy the book, you're going to read it. But I bought a bag. I bought, and I almost bought an ounce. But you know what I thought? This is from doing drugs for way too long and being a criminal. If I stopped with an ounce, it's going to be a problem. If I had stopped with a little less than an ounce, not going to be a problem. So about 3/4 of an ounce. I'm driving along. And you know what I was doing? I was driving along in a car. I wasn't at home. I had a few beers. Hey, I got to run to the store. So it's a short ride. I'm in a car drinking. Like it's a activity. Beer between my legs. While I'm in the car. Cop pulls me over. I'm going, wow. I've been pulled over enough, you guys, that I knew the minute I saw the lights how that was going to pan out. Anyway, I get a DWI. Now, here's the great thing. God threw a bone to this fool, and they dropped the possession. Never even charged me with it. Swear to God, it's a true story. They didn't even, why would I tell you? You know what I mean? They didn't charge me with it. I never said, hey, can you do me a favor? Not charge me with a bag. They just never charged me with it. All right. So, but I did get a DWI and cost me $5,000. I was going to buy a guitar like the following week. I had some money saved. So much for that. I get an attorney. You know what I mean? And it ended up, Anton Cesaro, good to see you, dude. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Kim. Thank you for being here. Never go straight, only forward. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Silver Surfer. So, a year after that, I'm done. It gets it better. Are you ready for this? You think they threw me a bone by not charging me with a bag? Guess what else happened? I pled guilty. I pleaded guilty. I was guilty. I'm not going to, it is what it is. I own it. I'm going to take my lumps. Do you know that it's what's it called when they delete it from your record? Expunged. It's expunged. I had an attorney. I didn't go to my attorney and say, dude, I'll throw you some extra dough, a couple grand. See if you can get this expunged. I never asked. when I got the paperwork, the final, I didn't have to go back. I could do it out of the state. They threw me a bone that way. But I got the paperwork back. I was like, man, I was found guilty. I had to pay the fine. I had to do a bunch of classes, which I got nothing from. I wasn't ready yet. My window was closed. Anyway, so do the whole deal. It's expunged. And then I fall in love with the most amazing girl in the world. Only she doesn't live in this country. She lives in Australia. And because of that DWI, I can't go to Australia. Maybe they just looked into what kind of character I used to be, because having a DWI in and of itself will not keep you out of Australia. They didn't read the book. They read the book, they'd be like, yeah, we don't need that guy here. Even though I'm a good guy now, I've changed. You know, I'm not the guy I was. I promise you I'm not. But so not only did I start at 10, for 4 decades, just screwed my life up one after the other, but a girl I really wanted to be with. Yeah, that's it. I want to talk about screwing everything up. You want to talk about a dumpster fire. If you took, like most likely to, if you voted in high school, most likely to be president or whatever. If you went back to anybody from my past and said, how do you think he's doing today? I'd almost like to do that just to hear what people say. But what I'm telling you is you aren't too far gone. And there's, the best proof of that. I'm talking to you. You're looking at me and you're hearing my voice. I was good looking when I was 18. You aren't sitting here because I'm good looking. You're here because you're here for a reason. So there's no such thing as I'm too far gone. There isn't. Here's the thing you might think there is. Good morning from Australia. There you go. Nurse who loved me. I promise you'll think that there's nothing, you're a lost cause. I did for so long. Then I got sober. Okay. I quit doing the hard drugs. You need to know that. I quit doing the bad ones, heroin, meth, coke. They'll probably demonetize this video. It's what they do. If you say those words, every time I do a video for this, it's demonetized. Isn't that big a deal if it's a hobby, if you're a YouTuber and it's sort of a hobby, but this is my gig. So it bums me out when they do that. So they're probably going to demonetize it, but it doesn't matter. I quit all the hard drugs 15 years ago. The idea of smoking weed now just seems kind of a little caveman-like at this point, which 2025, to take something, dry it up, let it on fire, and breathe that smoke into your lungs seems a little caveman-like to me at this point. You know what I mean? So I don't do that, but it's very, very important. Everybody hears this. I'm not anti-drug. You guys hear that? I'm not anti-drug. I'm anti how I was on drugs. That's what I'm anti. And I stay in my lane. I don't ever say to somebody, hey, you got a problem? It's not me. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, I got a problem, I'll show you the way out of the hole you're in, because, man, I was in there deep. I think my hole was deeper, but I know how to get out of it. And if you'll trust me, do it, take a few steps and take it seriously, we get out of that hole together. I promise you. You can do it. You're here watching this video. You know what I mean? And the great thing is, this isn't a private video. This isn't just for the bus pass people. Someone might stumble onto this. I've had that happen. Bottom line is, you can do it, you guys. You can do it. And the best thing is, you have people here that support you. Try walking. I'm going to get to a few of the comments that people had. Try walking into like an AA meeting in your town. Do you think you'd be able to be as comfortable to talk about stuff? You know what I mean? And I have no anonymity. I got to tell you something. It's gone. That is no joke. I can shave this off. It's probably still gone. But there's beauty in anonymity. You won't realize it unless you stop getting it someday. But there really is. You can sit there and say, this is where I'm at. The camera's in my face, not yours. And what you'll get when you do that, what do you guys get? You get judgment-free support from people who don't know, who don't even know you, but care you and love you. You know what I mean? When we take time to do this, we've only been here for 30 minutes exactly right now. We've been doing this for 30 minutes, but we're all invested right now in everything else. It's like a movie. If you see a movie at home on your couch, it is what it is. Seeing a theater with 500 people, it's a shared experience. It's more impactful. That's what's happening now. But you guys can do it. It just, you have to, like I said, you got to want to do it. You got to be willing to do a few steps and take them seriously. But if you're there, I'll help you. I'm not an expert in a lot of things. I'm sober, though. Sober. You know what I mean? I haven't read the number of books that Tommy has on sobriety, but damn it, I'm sober. And I don't mind helping. If you want something, you want to see something amazing. Andrew Brown, dude. I love you, man. I hope you got my I know you have. Dude sends me the most amazing music. He's a guitarist like I am. We get to send these clips back and forth. Dude's amazing. Anyway, let's figure out a time that I want to do the interview with you, bro. South Shore Heatworks, by the way. He did son Chance. I met Chance. He was a little kid. Now he's like 6'6". He's a big kid. He's a man. He's a man now. When I met him, he was a little boy. He was a young man. And now he's not a young man anymore. So, I'm a better me without alcohol. Okay, so I'm going to go read some of the comments. I'm going to go back and read some of the early comments, but this one, I just saw it, so I'm going to go out of order. But if you left a comment or a question, I will get to it. Robin says, I did it with AA. It helps to be with other people that think like me. Screwy. I gotcha. The reason I clicked on that, there are going to be people that will, AA is a funny thing. Hang on one second. I'm going to come back in just a second. I didn't mean to click on that. AA is funny. Caleb, good to see you. The reason AA is funny, there are people that are only alive today because of AA. Tons of them. But there are other people who are sober that went a different route, and you'll find that they don't have a lot of good things to say about AA. I'll never bash AA. Been to a couple of meetings. It wasn't for me. But I'll never bash them. And what I'll tell you is this: I don't give a damn what your reasoning is. I don't care if it's a dude on a BMX bike that helped get you sober, a black dude in prison like got Tommy sober. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter. I don't care what your why is. I don't care what avenue you take. I don't care if you did it with a 12-step program or not. Do it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just do it. Because if you don't, death is the alternative. Not just death. Go back and listen to the first 20 minutes of this video. That's the alternative. And it sucks. I can't begin to tell you how much it sucks. I spend so much energy. If you knew the mental gymnastics I do not to hate myself for the things that I've done, All right. Hold on a second. Who asked me if the book's out now? Oh, Just Joan. Not yet. Here's the thing. It's done. It's been done for a while. I had to make a few modifications because I'm single again. But I've made those modifications, and we could sell it right this. We could release it right this minute. And I'll be really honest with you. I'm not sure what Tommy's going to tell you. I'm kind of dragging my feet right now. I'm kind of the reason we're not releasing it yet. It's not that I'm not going to, but it's just if you think I'm a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm not uncomfortable talking about my sobriety at all. I'm not. However, if you think I've shared a lot in this video. It's a bell you can't unring. And that's the reason I'm kind of dragging my feet. Now, that said, I'm not going to not release it. I promise you I will. But it's just going to take me a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of courage. I'm not going to lie to you. Blame and Claw. Mike says, worst thing I ever did was addicted to nude bucks at age 5 or 6. My pocket money, I used to go down to the nude agency and buy one and sneak into the bedroom. They should be tied up to a post and skinned alive for selling a 5 or 6-year-old kid a nudie book. But that's just me. I'm sorry. You know what, though? Seriously, if that's the worst thing you did, dude, don't read my book. You're a good guy and you like me. Don't read it. You're a good guy. Seriously. I have been to an armful of anonymous style meetings. They feel awkward to me personally. I just wouldn't dig it. Here's the other thing. I've been to a couple of them. One time I didn't use, but a dude I knew I could have bought from was there, and he wasn't there to get sober. Promise you. He was there because he was slinging dope. I did not use that day. I probably did, but not because of him. Being honest, I'm just being honest. I probably did, but not because of that dude. Let me see here. Get invested in somebody else's sobriety, and it does worlds for your own. I'm invested in all your sobriety. I have people that I'll never ever meet in person. Every week I get new ones that say they want help, and I don't. I'll help anybody who wants help. You know what I mean? You can all do this. It doesn't. But that said, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go to an AA if you have one in your town and you think that you're in. If anything I'm saying is resonating with you, you probably ought to check one out. But you know what? If you feel awkward about it, don't go. Find a different avenue, because if you go, it'll be counterproductive. You won't get out of it what it won't do. You'll never get the full potential. That's what I'm saying. You know what? I'm not good at this. I'm great at eating peppers and talking about how hot stuff is. This isn't my forte. I give a rip. I'm passionate and I care a lot, but this isn't my strength. This is Tommy's strength. So what I would urge you to do, we do this every weekend. You know what I mean? We have strength in numbers. We have people that care, and you get support. You know what it is? Jeez, it's connection. Can't believe we're 36 minutes in. It's the first time I've said connection. The opposite of addiction is not sober. As much as we'd all like to think it is, it's not. The opposite of addiction is connection, because when you're in an addiction, you wall yourself up. You push every single good thing in your life away from you, and you end up being isolated. The opposite of that is connection. Anyway, the nurse who loved me. That's very close to my best friend's analogy for PTSD. When I was in the darkest pit, she said, "Take my hand and I'll help pull you out," because she's already done that part of herself, and now helps others. You know what it is? It's a really wonderful story that I heard Tommy talk about on his channel. It's beautiful. Green man, been sober for 11 years. I prefer to do it on my own, but to each their own. Here's the thing. Some people can do it that way. Some people are really strong. Some people can't. I'm proud of you. Like I said, it doesn't matter what gets you sober. Just get sober. Want to love. It's got to be like absolutely losing your... Yeah, it was a bummer. It is what it is. But I've been hurt before. The first time I've been hurt. And it isn't going to be the last one. But honest to God, if it weren't for drinking, my life would have been different. Now, I'm not upset at all. I believe that everything happens for a reason. The guy you see sitting in front of you, it looks like the skull and crossbones you'd see on a poison bottle. But all the guy I am today, I am because of all the crap that I, got through. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't want to undo that, because I'm scarred and broken, but I'm proud of those scars. Wish I wasn't quite as broken, but I earned them. Anton, I'm pretty anti-people, a loner in sense. I knew I couldn't go to those meetings. I did my work alone. Yeah, but now that you're here, connection. You say, you by yourself. If you do this all the time, you're not doing it by yourself. You have the support of other people. But you know what, Anton? Whatever way you plug in, stay plugged in. You know what I mean? Life's too short. It really is. Just Jones says, you're dragging your feet because you have a soft heart. That you are sorry for the people that got hurt. Understandable. You aren't that person anymore. Yeah, I know. Thank you for saying that. You know what? I think, to be really honest, I might be dragging my feet because I'm a little scared. How about that? See, you come to this channel on a Saturday and Sunday. It's not like I lie to you during the week, but holy crap, are you going to get truth bombs on weekends? Man, I'm telling you. You do great, Johnny. Yeah, but here's the thing, Robin. You're very, very kind. There's so many people in my life that have already written me off. You just haven't written me off because you caught me during a part of my life where I'm shining right now. I care about others. So you just caught me at a good time. Thank you, Brian. I'm doing great, Johnny. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate that. Calhoun is posting good content in the mornings. He is. And I'm wicked proud of him. I really am. Bizzle, just curious. When are you going to read my hate mail? Okay. You guys ready for some hate mail? I get hate mail. It happens. It just does. Not everybody likes me. No. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. I'm not everybody's flavor. It's just how it works. We are all broken. It's true. You know, the problems is I isolate big time. When crap hits the fan, I do the exact opposite of what I ought to be doing. I ought to be going to people saying, I'm in a jam, help me. Like, Tommy, I got to talk to you. But when really stuff is hitting the fan and flying everywhere, I retreat. Oh, you're so funny. You're too kind, nurse who loved me. Johnny, you are good at this. I'm going to start challenging you to fight me every time I say that. It's self-deprecating. Sorry. And you're sincerely amazing. Stop saying that. Joking about the fighting, though. You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Drop in when you can. Just, stay connected to somebody. It doesn't have to be here. I assume you have connections other place, but like Silver Surfer is my accountability partner. We've been bad lately. Usually it's once a week, every week or so, but we connect a lot. But we talk on the phone, and I tell him what I'm struggling with and where in my life I'm struggling. He tells me where he's struggling. We pray together. He's a solid guy. So if you just have, you don't have to be even praying with somebody if you're not. That's not your get down, Anton. But if you can have somebody you can do that to, just say like Tom. Like if I didn't have Silver Surf, I'd be doing it with Tommy. Like, what are you doing there? What's wrong with what's your week? How's your week going south? Let's talk about it. It's a really important thing because even if it's only one person, like the connection I get from Silver Surf, you can't know how important that is to me. Windmill Willie, so good to see you. Oh, by the way, I didn't even read that. Sorry. If you never had someone reach out and lift you up, you never experienced grace. You never fell. You never learned to get back up. You're a success story. Thank you. You guys all stop saying that. I love you, Tracy. Thank you. And here we go. And my sister is an alcoholic. She quit a little over 3 years ago and took finding out that she had cirrhosis, relatively early stage, to get her to stop. Holy crap. That's a delivery driver that didn't drive his truck here. He walked up. Lisa. Holy mac. That's going to get hurt. You know that? This is a big, long driveway. I see somebody walking up. That's not good. Anyway, she did it herself and was very, very lucky. You know the thing about livers, and it's a wicked cool organ. You know, when somebody has a liver transplant, they can cut just a lobe off it and it'll grow and create a full liver. So liver's an amazing thing. When I died like a year ago, I had a dehydration thing. It sounds really horrible, but it's not. I was blue and wasn't breathing for a minute or two. Tommy found me on the floor in the kitchen, did CPR, brought me back. And it was a scary thing. It was all because of hydration. And I bounced back very quickly. All right. I was supposed to be in there a couple of days. And like, yeah, you can leave. Your vitals are back. The minute the hydration, became hydrated, the symptoms I was dealing with were gone. But when he came in, I was like, have you let me out this fast? He goes, yeah. He goes, I swear to God, he said this. He goes, I wish you could have seen my reaction to him saying this because it was hilarious. He goes, yeah, man, you have the organs of a guy 20 years younger than your age. You're great. I said, really? He goes, yeah, really. So I said, my liver? He goes, your liver's amazing. I said, oh, really? He goes, yeah, my lungs. I've smoked like an elephant's weight of weed in my lifetime. A lot of other stuff too. I was a bad guy. So I said, how are my lungs? He goes, clear. They sound amazing. I'm like, wow. The point of me saying this is your bodies can recoup. It really can. You just got to get on it. I'm glad your sister is on a good path now. That's beautiful. Green Man, you really want to read my book? I'm sure it can help a lot of people. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Thank you, Green Man. Kristen, I love the truth bombs. I always gain something from them. Thank you for dropping them. Thank you. Here's the thing. There's somebody who's going to leave this video today and go, I don't think I need to come back to that guy. There's some people that like the truth bombs, If you're in a bad place, the truth isn't nice to hear. You know what I mean? So, Brock, Johnny, knowing who you are now and who you were then, I know you had to be extremely painful to relive everything through writing your book. The apprehension is understandable. He's one of the, just so you guys know, Bizzle has read a bunch of it. Brock's read it. and Silver Surfer has read it. So there's a few people in the chat that have actually read it. In case you're saying that Scoville's a liar, I mean, he hasn't written a book. I swear to God, I wrote it. It's just a little bit different than what you guys, what Brock and Silver Surfer and my Bizzle read. But thank you, man. But again, here's the thing, though. You're my friend, bro. You love me, so you're gonna say that. You know what? I want everybody. I don't even know what I want. I want someone to help. I want it to help somebody. I don't want it to be in vain. I don't want it to be. It was a horrible thing to write. I cried writing most of it. It's the truth. It was horrible, terrible. At the end of the night, I call Tommy and say, "We got to talk for a minute." He's like, "What? Say something funny. Just say something funny for a few minutes." I got to, it was horrible. Just, you know what it was? What it was like propping a mirror up, but one that went back a lot of years. And you stare at a mirror for like, it took me like 4 or 5 months probably to write that. And there were times I'd be writing for like 10 hours a day. And it just got unbearable. True crime. Robin says, I count this as a big part of my recovery. It is my recovery. You guys don't realize how important you are. And I say this a lot. Oh, Robin, you're sweet. Thank you, Robin. And just me being me, you're awesome too. You're all awesome. Oh, yeah, hate mail. Sorry. Anton is like right there with you. He's like, damn it, where's my hate mail? All right. Okay, I'm going to skip a whole bunch of things. I'm sorry. You know what? Tommy would be screaming if you were here. He'd be like, catch up. You're a mile behind. I'm sorry. All right, so let me read this hate mail. Where is it? Okay, here we go. You ready? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, the subject, it's Johnny Scoville, the king of capsaicin catastrophes. Hey, I just want to take a moment to address our favorite YouTube disaster artist, Johnny Scoville. Watching them eat the hottest peppers is like witnessing a slow motion train wreck, except the train is on fire and it's carrying 1,000 bottles of hot sauce. Honestly, I didn't know it was possible to sweat from places I didn't think I had sweat glands. I mean, the last time I saw someone turn that many colors after eating, it was a children's crayon box. At this point, I'm convinced he thinks Scoville is short for scolded my taste buds. Next time you see him attempting to conquer the latest killer pepper, just remember, he's not brave. He's just one bad decision away from a trip to the ER. Keep the milk handy, Johnny. Cheers, Bizzle. Professional pepper bystander. Oh, I'm sorry. That was awesome. I thought that was great. I love you too, Bizzle. I do, man. Bizzle's a great guy. He's one of the greatest. I should open the book with I cried writing most of this. It's a lot more impactful here than you realize. You know what? The opening line is great. It's got a good opener. Yeah, I don't know. The book you made into a movie series. You know what though, Brock? You're tainted, dude. You're biased, bro. You love me, man. We spent time. We broke bread. You're my bro. So you're gonna say that. I'm waiting for someone to say this thing sucks, man. God, 600 pages of garbage. I can't believe I read that whole thing. I'm waiting for someone to say that. I almost feel better if somebody would say that. Of course, I've only let like a small handful of people read it. But see, Bizzle wrote that. That's Bizzle. That's like listen, if I was ever going to get married again, Bizzle would be there. Andrew Brown, keep up the good work. I love this version of you. I love you, Andrew Brown. You're a good man, dude. How old was Chance when I met him? It was like 6 years ago. He was such a young guy. Now I see pictures of him. It's like, when you're just a dad, your kids' birthdays make you feel old. But when you're a YouTuber, boy, birthdays all over the place make you feel old. It's crazy. He's such a nice, you know what though? You've raised a very, very, man, he's a gentleman. He's respectful. He's kind. He did it good. Anton says, man, if I did some of the challenge John does, I'd be down for days. Nah. Now, that was a joke hate mail. That was just a joke hate mail because Bizzle, that was from Bizzle. Bizzle loves me. Listen, Bizzle's one of those guys where he would dive on a grenade for me, and I would do that for him. I love him. I mean, I really do. He's such a good person. I love his mom and dad. They're great. So he did that just to make me feel good. It was a great letter. It was a great letter. I thought the same thing. 600 pages. I don't know if it's 600. I think it's maybe 650 or 550. I don't know. I can't remember. Is it 650? Oh, how nice. How exciting is that? You're a rock star, Tommy Scoville. I put the Tommy Scoville right there. Let me read it. I'll say it. Right? That's so funny. Then publish it and let it ride. It's easy for you to say, though, Green Man. You haven't read it yet. Like, I was a gangster, man. I did some terrible things. Like, here's the thing. 632. Okay, yeah. Like, it's not quite, 632. Here's the thing. I promise you, there's going to be somebody that reads it that will turn their back on me. And I could easily say, well, it was meant to be that way. And while that's true, it's still, no one likes that. I don't want anyone. I want the good to outweigh the bad. I know there's going to be a sting to it. There's no way to release something like this and not feel the ramifications of it. Like, I don't know. Anton, you guys remember the pepper spray grenade in the tent? It was so much fun. Wasn't that a great video? You know what Tad's got, Anton? He's got a claymore. You guys know what a claymore is? It's another great military thing. It stands on a little stand. It's got it's plastic, and it's like a little container, and it explodes that way, and it explodes out and up, and we're gonna fill it. It's really great. We're gonna fill it with either probably a combination of Primatali and Warthog powder, and we're gonna do the same idea. Maybe not a tent, but we're gonna do something really cool with a claymore. If you had a claymore, listen. If you had a friend with a claymore and a grenade like that, you'd do it too. Damn, I thought it was a well-crafted piece of hate mail. I have a couple that I've read that are hilarious. I had one where a guy says that he's been watching me for 10 years. I've only been doing this for 8. I've had a couple of really funny ones. Some of them, though, they'll be this long, and there's like 5 lines I can read because I don't swear on the channel. So. I know. I like the part about the one bad decision away from an ER visit. It was beautiful. Ann says, my husband can eat the hottest peppers. My daughter can eat the hottest peppers. I can barely handle jalapeno. It's not fair, but well. Here's the thing, Ann. Jalapenos are like, it's just somebody you can't trust. It's like, you ever have a friend you just can't trust? You love them anyway. You can't trust that person. I got friends like that. Maybe not now, but I used to. That's a jalapeno, man. Every once in a while, they're all pretty, pretty low key. Every once in a while, you got to eat one that's going to hurt you. Lisa White is very cool. I'm here for the pepper support. I give up. Finally accept that I don't like super hot stuff. I admire all you tough ones. Here's the thing. You say that, Lisa, if you were my neighbor, number one, you'd have a hell of a good time. But if you were my neighbor, give me a month and you'd be asking me, what, you got anything hot? I promise you, because here's the thing. You can become a raging chili with really high tolerance and never hurt yourself to get there. It takes a lot more time. You want to do the short, the fast track, you got to earn it. But I promise you, you'd be loving spicy stuff and it wouldn't even hurt you. Green Man said you changed better than continuing down your old path. I wouldn't be here, dude. I wouldn't be here. And here's the thing that, like, the guilt, when you're sober, you get sober, you have guilt for the years you wasted. I spent $1 million on drugs, and then you end up realizing that what I feel right now is what I paid $1 million in hopes of feeling. And I get it for free. But so there's always kind of guilt, like the ants, the automatic negative thoughts will attack you. You're a scumbag. You'll hear it, man. You'll hear it. You're kidding everybody. It's just a matter of time before you'll hear it. The ants are bad. But, oh man, I lost it. See, that's what happens. If I hadn't all the drugs back in the day, I never would have lost my train of thought. I'll be damned. It's going somewhere good with that too. I haven't done that in a while. It's not easy. Back in the day, I used to public speak forever. And I was working the dating service and I was blazing all the time. And I'd forget my place in sales meetings constantly. Jane Aldrich, listening and watching and following the chat, and notice a few things, Johnny. You and apparently your organs are extremely resilient and redemption story is powerful. The bus appreciates you knowing. I know they do. That's the thing, though. I'm not worthy of any of it. Like, I'm not. I want to be. You guys are the motivation that makes me try to be a better person because I want to be. I want to be the person that you like. You guys look at me, you hold me in high, like you guys look up to me. A lot of you do, and I want to be worthy of that. You know what I mean? I want to be worthy of that. We are just about out of time here, people. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon. Claudia, hello, Claudia. I'm working on my first fiction novel. It's quite the chore. My characters have elements of me in each. The stuff you wrestle with as the memories leap back into life. Yeah. Yeah, this was bad too because I didn't really want, it wasn't fun. Actually, you know what? Here's the funny thing. And this isn't funny. This is terrible. But there were parts that were easier to write than others. Like, you know what I mean? Like the early stuff was almost easier. Like writing about Tommy in prison, I can't tell you how horrible that was. Because like everything else that happened in the book, Tommy was right there. It was me and him doing this together. It was like we were cohorts, man. But so it was easy to write about that because it was a shared experience. But when he went to jail, prison, I didn't go to prison. So I didn't have any framework. Well, I've been to jail a lot of times, but not prison. So, and jail is different than prison, So I didn't have, yeah. I like that starfish thing, dude. I love that ending. See that? I'm scrolling off again. It's definitely no fun to write. It is what it is, though. You know what I mean? It's cathartic in a way, but I don't envy you. I don't think I'll write another one. Actually, I've written a couple cookbooks recently, so I'll be releasing I have the Johnny Scoville's Ultimate Jalapeno Cookbook, and I've got the Ultimate Habanero Cookbook. Recipes for habaneros and recipes for jalapenos. So I have those done. I just got to I want to get pictures and make it look nice. So I'm going to probably write some more because I love writing, but I'm not writing about my crap anymore. I'll tell you what, I've done it. I'm good. I'm all set. I've written a lot. I've written like 14 screenplays, and every screenplay I've ever written, I'm the main character one way or another. I mean, it's not my name, and it's not really me, but there's an element of me. And just like she said, there's an element of me that weaves in and out of all of them. That habanero book is mine, says Anton. Johnny, I'm jealous of you. That big, beautiful pool, and you waste it. Dude, it's like jumping into a margarita right now. It's too cold for me. I'm a sissy. I don't like that. I like hot. You know that. If it was 110, I'd jump in that thing right now. It's cold. It's like wicked cold. I'm not into it. You're sweet. Arwa, you really are. Gratitude is huge in recovery. Can I tell you how important that is? Yep. I don't want to complain about anything. I'm the luckiest fool you guys are ever going to meet in your life. And I really, really am. Nurse, my books do not talk about tinctures and stuff like that too. But the only spicy ones I've written are the cookbook for jalapeno, and they're real recipes, by the way, and habanero. So I haven't done other ones. That's not to say I won't. I just haven't yet. Tinctures are cool. You know what? Tom Broom and I are thinking about doing a tutorial video about making them because there's a lot of people that would like to make them also. That's awesome. Kristen Lynn said, all of my screenplays are really weird. The plot line is weird. If you do like boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy finds girl and gets her back, that's got to be the most blazing script because that story's been told 50 million times, right? But if you got a really weird story plot, like one of the story plots is a tornado hits a prison, a maximum security prison in Georgia, Macon, Georgia, and like 5 death row inmates escape. It's called 3 Days in June. And this detective, a woman, it's the only time I ever had a main character that was a woman. Wicked fun to write, though. So much fun to write from a woman's point of view. God, that was great. But the whole book is the 3 days that she has to get all these. It takes 3 days to get them all captured. And that's what that book is about. So my plot lines are really weird. And the nice thing about that is, like the few times I've had movie studios read my stuff, they're like, the story plot is so weird. They're like, yeah, I got to read that. It's so weird. You can get away with not that I'm a mediocre writer. I think I'm a pretty good writer, but they cut you a lot of slack if you have an amazing storyline. If you have if the plot is just insanely bizarre and fresh, you know what I mean? Then you can get it. You can almost get away. You can get away with an awful lot. They give you a lot of liberty. I wrote a lengthy comment on another video about gratitude journaling, but I'll copy and paste it to this one too in case people miss it. I love gratitude journaling. You know what? It just puts you in the right frame of mind. My kids, not my kids' mom, my ex-wife. I never call my kids' mom my ex-wife because it sounds disrespectful, But my last wife, she's my ex-wife. She went through this gratitude thing that she was, and one of the things she did was she challenged me to do it. And I was able to do it, but it took me like 3 months before I was able to do it. The idea is to go an entire week without complaining about anything. Entire week. And I mean, I was really serious about it. I'm like, oh man, there it is. So when I first started, I'd go like 6 hours or 3 hours. I complain about something. And finally, after a while, I was able to do it. But what happens is you see the whole world differently. You feel like the luckiest person in the world. Yes, it's been a train wreck, Kristen. Here's the thing. I should have a warning label. Just run, flee. It's the truth. There's Tommy. Check out Tommy's channel. Guys, we're going to wrap it up now. I appreciate you guys being here. I love you all. I really do. Tomorrow, we're going to be back. I probably won't do another train wreck story. But if you got anything from this, I've been where you are. I've probably been worse. It doesn't matter how bad off you are. You can get out of the hole you're in. I've been down that hole before. And it was deep and it sucked. But you know what? I know how to get out of it. I'll hold your hand through the whole process. So if you're in a jam and you're in that hole and you need to get out of it, all you got to do is be willing to do a few steps and take them seriously. I'll and be honest, and I can help you get out of that hole. Oh, Caleb. Wow. It's a heartbreaker. I still miss my wife. It's been 3 years. I can't fathom that. My mom lost her husband 3 years ago. I lost my dad, but my mom lost her husband, and she's wrecked every day. She's never going to get over it. I'm sorry, Caleb. I really am. Seriously, suggest you get the book, Save the Cat Writes a Lot. Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Jessica Brody. I think I'll have to look into that. You know what I was thinking about doing, you guys? You want to hear a crazy idea? I'll run it by you. You can tell me if you think it's completely lunacy or you think it may have some substance to this. You guys ready? I can see Katy Perry doing her own cat food videos. Katie's Cat Reviews. Cat Reviews by Katy Perry. I review peppers. She can review cat food. We'll do it together. I'll sit next to her. She'll eat the food. I'll tell you what she thinks of it. I think it'll be very funny. Do you guys want to see Katy Perry? We'll end the video with Katy Perry. You guys want to see her? If you haven't seen Katy yet and you have a cat, I don't mean to bum you out, but my cat's better looking than your cat. I'm sorry. I just have the prettiest, most beautiful cat in the world. And Claudia, I'm so sorry. Wow. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. I don't know what to say. Hang in there. Prayers for you guys. If you see ones in the chat, that's electronic love. It's a digital hug. Some people pray. Some people are into positive vibrations or, casting a spell. Who cares? We care. It says we love you. All right. So if you see some ones in the chat, those are people that are hugging you through the computer. All right. So let me show you. And again, I'm sorry about breaking you the news about your cat. But my cat's prettier. She's don't feel bad. I mean, how many cats do you think there are in the world, right? Well, I got the prettiest. Like, I'm not even fooling you. Look what she's doing. That is Katy Perry. Oh, big stretch. Look at that. Look at that face. Are you joking me? I know you feel bad right now. I'm sorry. You needed to hear it. Will you look at that? Here's the truth of it. All cats are gorgeous. I'm just one of those guys. I've never seen a cat that wasn't gorgeous. I love them all. Strays, all of them. Cats are cats. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Connection. God bless you. Connection, people, right? I'm sorry, Chili Phil. Well, handsome is different than beautiful. I'll let you go with that. Maybe your cat should meet my cat. You know what, Anton? She's not actually white. She looks white, but she's not. You may as well call her white because she looks it, but she's actually silver. Her dad is a silver. I don't know if you guys saw the video. Her dad is a regular Maine Coon, but her mom is a European giant Maine Coon. Her mom came from Europe, UK, which is funny because Arwa said, well, that's the reason she's keeping you up at night. She hasn't adjusted to the time change yet, which I thought was great. So her dad's 35-pounder. I have a picture of his dad. You want to see a picture of her father? Where's my kitty? Here is Katy Perry's father. Is he a chunk or what? That's a 35-pound cat. I don't even know if I believe her. That's a huge cat, 35 pounds. Isn't it? But so the mom is from the UK. So it's going to be... No, it's not a Norwegian forest cat. She's a purebred Maine Coon is what she is. But when we got her, she has a white cat. And I said, she's white. She goes, no, she's not. I'm like, man, she is. And she went to a different room, came back with a white cat and held the two side by side. And she's not white. She's white if you're holding her next to a black cat. But if you're holding her next to a silver cat or a real white cat, you'll realize that it's actually silver, but it's very, very cool. Hey, you guys are awesome. I love you. You made this, it wasn't very fun, but you made it great. Hey, Russ, you're a rock star, dude. Thanks for being here. Yeah, she's going to be big. You know what's funny? We looked at it today. Her paws are, I'm not even joking. Tomorrow I'm going to get a picture of them side by side. Her paws in the front are twice as wide and twice as big as squirrels. And squirrels 4 years old. But she's just going to be amazing. You love these live streams, Anton. I do too. I love you all the more, nurse who love me. You're all amazing. This is really important. Please check this out. Addiction, mental health. Please check it out. And by the way, do not quit alcohol, benzos, benzodiazepines, Xanax. Don't quit any of those cold turkey. If you're addicted to those, please don't, because you can die from withdrawals from those. Okay. But please be here tomorrow. More connection. All right. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.